Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Welcome in to another edition of the College Football Breakdown. It is week 14 in college football, one of the last weeks of the season. As far as the regular season, it is November 30th. 2019. You know what we do on this show? We break all the games down from an ATS and total perspective. We see what we can find in each game and try to find some value in them. I will tell you guys now, this is likely, well, it is the last big breakdown show I'm going to do. I might do some bowl stuff, Donnie and I. We'll see. I'm cutting down a lot of the live content that I'm doing, but college football I've kind of done all season, and I'll kind of finish out the season with it. I've had a good year with it. I'm up on the year. I'm up about 8 units on the season, so we'll look to hopefully find some winners today. We'll hope to find some winners going forward here for you on this show. I will give you my picks today, what I'm already on. Maybe we can even add some stuff as well. So if you're out there, say hello on the chat box. If you're out there, make sure you like the show. Also, make sure that you retweet the show. If you're on Twitter, please hit the retweet button when you see this link go out for the show. It's very helpful. It makes the show bigger. It brings people in that maybe you don't see it. And it's just a great way to market the show. So do that for me and take care of me. Thank you. I appreciate all of you. Say hello, like as I said. I'll go over every game, so we don't need to ask. You can just listen in, and you will get what you're looking for. I've had a good week. I hope you have as well. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. I didn't do real well yesterday in college football, but it is what it is. When you're up, you have to take shots, and I took 2 shots yesterday, and I missed them. But the great thing about this week with college football is you have Friday games and Saturday games to redeem yourself. And I got 3 games that I really like this weekend, so we'll look to continue to add on to what we already have going. College basketball has been good to me as well. Knock on wood, we'll take that every day and look at it every day and try to add on. So if you want to join me with my college basketball, I also do give out a NFL game every week. So if you want, you can join me, bmocwins.com. A lot of you already have done that. If you want to, bmocwins.com. All right, let's get into the games today. That's what we're here for. I will go in rotation number. Okay, again, rotation number. If you don't know what a rotation number is, it's the little 3-digit number next to each game. It's in order, and that's how I go here because that's just how I do things. We'll start up at the top, 343, 344. It's Georgia and Georgia Tech. Georgia line 28.5, total 45.5. All of these lines are at betonline.ag. Go check out BetOnline now. If you're looking for a book, you're looking to add a book, you're looking to just get into the business in general, BetOnline's got you covered. Always the earliest lines in the offshore business. So if you want to bet for next week college football, you can bet them at opener at BetOnline. You can bet horses, you can bet hockey, you can bet basketball, whatever you want. BetOnline has you covered. You can pay with Bitcoin, you can withdraw with Bitcoin, you can get paid quick. Just make sure you read all the rule of requirements. BetOnline has some great things going on right now. They'll give you money for signing up, all sorts of great things. Go check out BetOnline. Georgia Tech. Listen, I don't have much in this game. I would lean towards Georgia in this game. Obviously, you have a game where both these teams are, going in opposite directions. We know what Georgia has at stake here. I think for them, you've got to continue to kind of, win and win convincingly. Georgia Tech has been poor all season. This has been a rough year for Jeff Collins. And I got to tell you, obviously, I think the only thing that he is real happy about is his wallet. He got obviously paid more, but it hasn't really given him really good football. He's 3-8 on the season. He ain't going to a bowl game. He ain't winning anything important. And this team has been bad. I mean, you just lost, a game 45-0 about Tech. You did win last week, which was nice, but really outside of that, this has been a rough season for that group. I'd lean towards laying the number here. Obviously, I think Georgia has to continue to make a point because they are that fourth team in the CFP. You got to keep making points. You can't struggle. You can't show weakness. 347, 348, Tulsa at ECU. Total 63. ECU continues to be very tough. Mike Houston has done a nice job down at East Carolina. A lot of people thought probably this team was a 5 or 6 win team. Obviously, the goal for them was to get to a bowl game. That ain't going to happen. So now it's just about pride. It is a home game. This offense has been, and it's surprising, but this offense has been one of the better offenses in the country in the last month. You look at over the last 30 days, there are very few offenses that have been better than East Carolina, and you can look that up. They have had a terrific November. They've been winning games. They're turning games into shootouts, which has been impressive. If I had to go with this game, I think who's more likely to get a stop? I think it's Tulsa. I thought coming into the season, this was a pretty good defensive group. I feel like for me, the only way I'd get involved with East Carolina is if this game got to 7. Maybe I could see a point in it. But for me, I just don't really trust ECU's defense. But that offense has been impressive. You can't look past it. And they are at home here, probably wanting to go out on a high note. So this is a pass for me. But the only way I'd get involved with ECU is if it went above that 7-point mark or stayed at 7. I wouldn't mind a 7. Texas State, Coastal Carolina, no opinion here. I don't bet a ton of Sunbelt games and won't really get started here. Florida International, Marshall, this is that kind of game where you look at it and you say, well, okay, I mean, yet again, Marshall, an 8-point favorite. Look, I've talked time and time again about Marshall. I have no interest in laying points with them. I just don't. I'm not going to do it. And I'm not going to start here. You look at against the spread as a favorite on the season. Marshall, 2-6 against the number. You look at the last 3 seasons, 8-16 laying points. And you look at the last 14 games as a home favorite, 4-10 against the number. I have no interest in laying points at Marshall. I'll gladly take 8 here with FIU. I know FIU is not a great football team, but I have no interest in laying points at Marshall. It's just that simple. Next one, Ohio State and Michigan, 360. This doesn't look like fucking rotation number here. Fuck, man. Sorry, guys. I'm thinking I'm missing some games. Let me go back here. Let me start where I was. I know the start of the rotation number was right. Let me go back into it here. I'm not getting the right rotation numbers here. All right, sorry. Let's go back and do a couple here. All these games I have no interest in, these ACC games. So I'm going to be real honest and just pass. BC, Pittsburgh, no interest. Vandy, Tennessee, another game. I don't know why Tennessee's laying 22.5 points. I know they're playing pretty good, but they're a bowl team now. What are they really playing for? Vandy generally plays pretty hard in these kind of games, so I might lean towards taking the points there. Wake, Syracuse. 2 of the more disappointing teams in the nation, really outside of Wake's been, I guess, decent, but Syracuse I thought would be much better. They've been disappointing. Iowa State, Kansas State. This is an interesting game here. And apologies, guys. I got to go back and relook at some of these things. Some of the rotation numbers were, for whatever reason, left off. I like the culture they're building down at Kansas State. Both these teams I think are pretty even. I think these teams are just kind of looking to end the seasons on high notes. I'd probably look towards taking a home dog here. I don't think Iowa State is 4 points better than Kansas State. I've said all year I thought Iowa State was a good, not a great team, and that's what they've been. I'd look towards taking a point here. North Carolina, NC State. Again, I don't bet a lot of ACC games. Don't really have much opinion. NC State's pretty bad. After last week, that was embarrassing. We talked FIU Marshall. That's kind of the game we left off. Yeah, again, if you could properly explain why Marshall's more than a touchdown favorite here, I'd like to hear it. I don't see any real interest. I don't see any real reason to do that, and I have no real interest in doing anything laying above set. I don't want to lay any points at Marshall, let alone above a touchdown. Thanks everybody for checking out the show. If you're in here, please retweet the show, tell your friends, and continue to support the channel. Navy Houston. You guys know I always like Navy. They're laying 8.5, total 57.5. Navy, you've got to wonder after yesterday where they are as a team. They're not going to the AAC title game, which has to be deflating. But, okay, and keep in mind, they've got Army on deck. So this is a tough spot for the Naval Academy. A Naval Academy that generally plays close games. Here's what I would do in this game. You know, I want to take Navy just because I don't feel like spots generally bother Navy like this. They're just a disciplined, well-mannered, keep your eye on the prize football team. But you got to realize, again, yesterday, they aren't going to the AC title. They got Army on deck. What is there to be real like what are we doing here? Is it just we want to win this game? And they could win this game, but this is a group that's played a lot of close games. I'm never really looking to lay almost double digits with them. I love the Naval Academy. I think they should be able to run all over Houston. I think the real question is that defense, going to be able to continue to step up here? Because what Houston will do, they're 6-3 as a dog this season. Houston's just going to, run their offense, 400 yards a game. I don't know. This one's a tough one for me. I think Houston is a team that generally can hang around in games. I always like what they can do on the ground with Mulba Carr and some of their quarterbacks and some of their playmakers. And to beat Houston, I feel like you have to be able to throw the ball pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. This is a tough one for me because I just don't love the spot for the Naval Academy. But they should win this game. I don't think they'll have any problem there. All right. We'll continue to take a look at every game. Baylor, Kansas. Baylor laying 14, total 48.5. Kansas is bad. They continue, though, to hang around in games. It's kind of what they do. Baylor just really hasn't looked particularly good ever since that TCU game. They didn't look good in that game. They looked good for a half against Oklahoma, and then they shit on their leg. I don't have much interest in this game. I think Kansas is always a tough, pesky dog now all of a sudden with Les Miles. They are at home here getting 2 touchdowns. Ohio State, Michigan. Ohio State 8.5, total 52.5. Look, I mean, obviously everyone wants an opinion on this game, but I think we have to realize there's not a lot of, I don't think there's a lot of betting value in the game personally. I just don't, I think there's a lot of unknowns. And what are you going to get out of Michigan? Are they going to, as usual, in a big game, have trouble? That's normally what they do. And until they don't do that, I have really no interest in thinking they won't. I mean, what has Michigan ever shown you under Harbaugh in a game like this? They always fail. And Ohio State, all due respect, doesn't look like a team I really want to step in front of right now. If you want to bet against them, be my guest. You could have got a better number. If you're betting Michigan State at this price, you're getting a bad number. You could have got 9 or higher this week. If you were to say to me, you get a free bet, you have no, even if you lose, you don't, you're good. I would probably take the Buckeyes here, but I don't really see any value in betting this game personally. Clemson, South Carolina. And if you are betting this game and you're just betting it to bet it, well, then you obviously should just realize you're doing this for fun and you're not really serious about it. Because if you don't have any value, what are you betting the game for? Betting the game because it's on TV is the quickest way to us not seeing you again. Because you'll lose interest and you won't be doing this very long. Clemson, South Carolina. Clemson just seems like they continue to fly under the radar, don't they? No one really cares because they don't play anybody. It's South Carolina School of the Blind and Kentucky Tech and that kind of crap every week. So until Clemson plays in the title, the Final Four, no one really cares. What's new? They're a 20+ point favorite because they don't play anybody. They should win this game by 30+. Wisconsin, Minnesota. I'm on this game. I took Minnesota. I'm going to be real honest with you. I know there's some weather up in St. Paul and in Minneapolis where this game is, and I get it. I get people want to like blow the weather out of proportion, and it's not going to be great. I mean, it's going to be snowy, it's going to be windy, but again, both teams have to play in those conditions. I think it's really just going to be about, I think, capable quarterback play, not turning the football over, making the right decisions. There's not going to be a lot of throwing the football downfield, but here's kind of one of the reasons I like Minnesota. Okay, first of all, I think their defense is really improved. I think their run defense is solid. I think their run offense is really underrated. Smith and Ibrahim are terrific. And look, I love John Taylor. I think he's a great player. I think he's one of the great running backs we have. But here's one thing that I like about Minnesota in this game. You're not going to be able to throw the football downfield. I think that's clear. But I've seen Minnesota on many occasions kill teams with slants. A slant. I think you run some slants today. I think you make it easy on your quarterback, Tanner Morgan. I want a quarterback that I can almost bank on not having and making a ton of mistakes. I don't trust Jack Cohen. I don't really ever trust any quarterback at Wisconsin. I don't think they're real built to win. And you look at on the season, I mean, Morgan has been really unbelievable. I mean, just 5 interceptions on the season. I mean, he protects the football. He's not careless. He doesn't take a ton of sacks. Really, outside of that Iowa game, he hasn't really taken sacks at all. They have a good offensive line. In a game where points are going to be at a premium likely, I'll gladly take 3 with a home team. I think they're the better team overall. I don't think Wisconsin's as a shutdown unit defensively as people make them out to be. We know when you can get them outside of Camp Randall, they're just pretty much an average football team. For me, I'm going to go with Minnesota here, and I think they go on to the final. A lot at stake in this game. I'm going to go with Minnesota here, plus the 3. That'll be my play, one of my plays this week. And we'll get into the rest of my games here in just a little bit. All right, Rutgers, Penn State, another one of my games. I like Penn State in this game, and I bet them at 39.5. I think this number got to where I had some real interest in it. I didn't really want to bet above 40, but now that I got it where it is, I'm real comfortable with it. I think Penn State, I think one thing we know about them is they generally have no issue running the score up. They definitely have no trouble setting an example. And this is a game, I think, for the Nittany Lions where I think you can name what score you want. I think this is like a 56-3 type of game. I don't have really any confidence that Rutgers can move the ball even towards first downs. I mean, this is a horrific offense. This is an offense that in 4 road games is averaging just 2.5 points a game. They're averaging under 160 yards a game, and they're giving up almost 40 points a game. So you look at on the road, okay, guys, listen to this. On the road in 4 games, Rutgers, from an average per game perspective, is giving up 39 points a game and scoring just 3 points a game. And now you're going to face a Penn State defense that has been pretty dominant this season, frankly. In 6 home games, they're giving up just 14 a game. They're beating up teams on this season. And I think for Penn State, I think you come into this game a little pissed off after last week. A game that I don't think was out of reach, really. I just think some of the mistakes really hurt you. And you've got to protect the football better. And I think today you should have no issue. It is senior day up at Nittany Lions Stadium, but Beaver Stadium. I think both quarterbacks, whoever plays in this game, will have ample success. And again, I don't think James Franklin will have any problem running the score up here. You also look at this year, laying 35-42. They're up. They're 2-0 on the season. They've covered both games. They have no problem winning big. And they've been good as a home favorite over the last couple of seasons. So I'll gladly lay this big number here. To me, Penn State is I think coming into this game a little pissed off. and I think they beat the fuck out of Rutgers, who mercilessly ends their terrible season. And I really wanted to just bet against Rutgers one more time. I've had success betting against them. I've done it a couple different times this year. And this is one where I feel like this is, 49-0, 54-3, something like that. Let's lay it here. I think as long as Penn State can hold Rutgers under 14, they should be able to cover this game, because I think they'll push 55-ish. Let's keep it moving here. Lot to do today. This fucking computer is so fucking slow sometimes. New Mexico State, Liberty. Liberty's bowl eligible. Not really playing for a whole lot here. Defense has been good for that group, but I'm not ever really looking to lay above double digits. For whatever reason, they just don't score enough points. They should be able to score, though, today against a real bad New Mexico State team. If I had to lay it, I'd probably lay it. But Liberty just kind of really playing out the string here as they are bowl eligible. Colorado, Utah. Utah obviously has a lot to play for as well. They have a small chance to get to the college football playoff. They need to keep setting tones here. They should be able to. Colorado is a bad defense. And for Colorado, it's kind of a rough spot. You're 5-6. You've had probably a pretty good season under Mel Tucker, considering. And now to get to a bowl game, you've got to beat Utah. It's just a tough spot. I think Utah can put up 35 in this game, because I think for Utah, it's always going to be about what can we do to keep going. I think continuing to shutting out teams is obviously great. They weren't able to do that last week against Arizona. Could they maybe do it this week? I think if this game stays about, kind of at 28 or lower, I have some interest in Utah here, to be frank. I think Colorado's a bad team. I don't like their quarterback play, and Utah just continues to be dominant defensively. I think this game's probably a lot like the USC game for Colorado, a game that they had a lot of issues in. I'd probably look towards laying it if I had to here. And I may add this game. I actually laid it with Utah last week, laying 22.5. They won. They won by, I think, what was it, 35-7. So I think the goal for this week for Utah is to pitch a shutout. I think they can do it. Chenault's a good player, and Colorado has some weapons, but it's a road game. It's a tough game. I think if Colorado if you doesn't get past that first 10 minutes, first quarter, where they're kind of jacked up Colorado, I think this game will kind of come back to earth, and Colorado will quickly learn that they don't have a chance to win this game, and they'll run away and hide. It could be a lot of field goals for Colorado. You've got to score touchdowns. One thing Colorado has struggled with this season, and if I spent a lot of time just looking at stats, seeing where teams are, seeing what teams have struggled with, and Colorado has been really all season. And it was a problem in the middle of the season. It's really been a problem in general, is scoring touchdowns in the red zone. They are just bad. I don't know how else to say it. You look at on the season, Colorado, I think from a touchdown perspective, is really low. You look at touchdowns and field goals, scoring in the red zone, they're 93rd in the country. They have trouble just scoring in the red zone for whatever reason. It seems like they get down and just putter out. That's not a good. That's not good today against Utah. So if I had to play this one, I'd look towards laying it with the Utes. Charlotte and Old Dominion. Charlotte laying 10 at BetOnline, total 50. It's been a rough season for Bobby Wilder and Old Dominion, 1-10 on the year. Charlotte, a team that we bet once or twice this year. Kind of a weird defensive team. They always seem to struggle, always seem to play close games. I don't know. They don't have much to play for here either. So this is going to be a pass for me. Middle Tennessee State at West Kentucky. WKU, another team that plays a lot of close games. Middle Tennessee ain't going bowling. They kind of roughed it out after, a decent start, a game where they kind of played well against Michigan, and, they had some good things happen to them. But West Kentucky been a good group. New coach, Ty Story's done a nice job there. They probably look towards laying it here, but I'm not playing it. Wyoming Air Force. Air Force laying 12.5 here, total 41.5. Low total, high number. I don't bet against or on Wyoming. I just don't have any success doing it. They're kind of one of those teams that I've kind of staved off for a while. I will say, though, I gave Wyoming a look here. I've got to say, I think this is a low possession type of game. I think both these teams will be solid in the trenches. I think this is a nail biter, kind of a low scorer, 24-17, 24-20 type of game. So maybe 17-14. Wins, the conditions out in Colorado Springs aren't great. This should be a knockdown, drag-out affair. I think points are going to be at a premium here. I think taking the points are smart, to be real honest with you. Wyoming has been a tough outfit. Craig Bowl, a great coach. It's going to be a good game. Two teams that are going to just, try and punch in and knock you out. This is college football right here. These two teams, just beating each other up. Whoever doesn't make the wrong decisions. And, look, Wyoming over the years has been pretty good against the run. They're always generally good against the option. They see it pretty frequently. So I look towards taking the points here. But, again, I don't have any fucking success with Wyoming ever. Fresno State and San Jose State. Two teams that aren't going anywhere, not winning anything, just kind of playing out the string. I think, though, for San Jose State, Brett Brennan's done a nice job there. He's made this team interesting again. And I think in this game, I think points will be scored here. Both quarterbacks have been real good, Reyna and Love. Both defenses have not been good. I think this is a shootout type of game, 34-31, 38-35, something like that. I don't really want to pick a winner, but I think we see points here. San Jose State loves to throw the football around. They don't run a whole hell of a lot. And Fresno has been in shootouts time and time again. So yeah, I would look towards maybe taking a shot here with an over. I will say for San Jose, kind of disappointing because you seem like you finally have gotten some substance with this football program. You have a good quarterback. You've been able to throw the football around, and you've been able to win some games. But you didn't win. You didn't get to a bowl game, and now Josh Love is going to move on. So it sucks. I mean, you've really not had any success. You finally get a little bit of it, and now you've got to kind of retool. So yeah, and the final swan song for these two, I'll look towards an over 16.5. Rice UTEP. Rice is a 6.5-point favorite. Go figure. David that coaching staff down there has done a great job. Them winning games has been tough to do, but they looked a lot better. They don't commit a lot of penalties. They should be able to win this game. I think they're even at 2-9, a much better team than UTEP is. UTEP's a bottom 5 team in the country. UNLV, Nevada. Nevada's. I'll tell you right now, okay, because I'm blown away by this. The fact that Nevada has won 7 games is wild to me. Wild to me. It seems like every time I watch Nevada games, they get beat up. And I look at their number, and they have 7 wins. So good for that team, Jay Norvell and his team out there. That's pretty impressive, to be honest. I was blown away to see that. UNLV's fired their coach. They're kind of playing out the string of a bad season yet again. I don't have much in this game. Early start for these two teams, so I'm going to pass. Indiana, Purdue. Purdue has just been riddled with injuries. I've talked about that all season. They're just playing out the string here. Indiana, I think the any chance this game stays under 7, I would probably bet on it. But I think there are better opportunities out there. Allen's team continues to be very solid. Indiana basketball sucks, but Indiana football has been good. They'll be an interesting bowl team, whoever they play. Texas A&M, LSU. Look, I'm not stepping in front of LSU. Texas A&M is game, though. Good athletes, good quarterback, well coached. feel like this game finds its way over the total, right? I mean, LSU seems to be good for 50 every week, don't they? I could see like a 44-24 type of game here, something like that. Louisville, Kentucky, both these teams bowl eligible, not playing for much here. Just kind of pride of Kentucky, as they say. My old Kentucky home, as they say down in Churchill. I'm probably more interested in Churchill Downs today as opposed to these two teams. But Scott Satterfield, you got to be impressed with the job he's done there. If I were a big time, like if I were Ole Miss, I would target Scott Satterfield. I don't know if he'll leave, but I would look to get him to the SEC. He's a great coach, done a great job at Louisville. And look, good for Stoops as well. I mean, it's not easy to get this team to a bowl game after you lose Josh Allen on defense. You lose Benny Snell on offense. It's not easy to do. You lose players like that. He's done a good job to make this team bowl eligible and extend their season. As far as this one, it's really a toss-up. I'd lean with Louisville, to be real frank with you. I think they're just a better football team, and I like that defense a little bit more. Alabama, Auburn, the Iron Bowl. A lot of people like Auburn. Feared a lot of people like Auburn. And obviously, we know, no Tua Tagovailoa. But I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If you're going to be a backup, the place you want to be is Alabama. Okay? They've got a good run game. They've got the best receivers in the country. And they have a coach that can fucking make you win. It's pretty simple. But here's the issue with Alabama. I don't love their defense. They were exploited considerably against LSU. And I think Bo Nix at home has some success today. Here's the thing, though. Auburn's not stopping Alabama on offense. I don't think Alabama's stopping Auburn. I think this game goes over the total. I'll lean with these games finding their way over. Anytime a total's at 50 in these kind of games, I'm going to look, or 49.5, I'm going to look going over. It's not 60. It's not 63. Look, a 27 24 game wins. I mean, it's not out of the question. 30-24 is a winner. Both these teams should be able to move the football. It might be slow. It might take some time, but I think they'll get there. I really do. Because one thing about Alabama, I know Mac Jones is the quarterback, and I know we all think he's nowhere near what Tua is, but listen, great receivers can really obviously help you. And you look at Alabama, I mean, they haven't had any trouble moving the football. And I know Auburn, good defense. I know they, generally hold teams at bay, but, I think this will find its way. It's not going to be easy, but I think it'll find its way. But I don't have a real, again, these lines are pretty on point in these kind of games. So if you're looking for value, you're really not going to get it. Could you have some in Auburn? Maybe. But I'm not betting. I don't want to bet against Alabama. Sorry. UL Monroe, UL Lafayette. I don't know. UL Monroe is horrific on defense. UL Lafayette, great run team. Really a possession-based offense. Love to keep the ball on the ground with Regis and those guys. UL Monroe needs a win to get bowl eligible. I don't think they're going to get one. Over. This could be the highest scoring game of the day, to be honest. Georgia State, Georgia Southern. Two teams that are bowl eligible. You're really just playing out the string against your in-state rival in the Sun Belt. You're really siding with a team that loves to throw the ball against a team that loves to run the ball. Clash in styles. I don't have any issue or interest in betting it. Northwestern and Illinois. Northwestern's a sharp side. A lot of sharps getting on Northwestern, but I'll tell you with Illinois, I just don't see this team really ever having letdown games. Like every game they seem jacked up to win. They've been good at home this year. They have a capable quarterback now. I think Illinois, I wouldn't really want to step in front of them. And you are betting against sharp action and sharp players, but hey, Illinois seemed to defy a lot of sharps this year, haven't they? I think they end the season on a high note and get another win here. 7-5. I think they win this game 31-21. Maryland, Michigan State. Michigan State will win. That's all they need to do to get to a bowl game. They'll do that. But I have no interest in laying above 3 touchdowns with them. Oklahoma State. Yesterday I talked about this game with Donnie Wrightshead, and I spent a lot of time on this game last night, kind of trying to tell myself why I shouldn't bet Oklahoma State. And then I realized something. And you know what it is? Oklahoma's going to put a full game together. I feel like they do. And I feel like they win by 20. I feel like this game, you know what I feel like this game figures a lot like? I think this game is probably a lot like yesterday's Texas Tech game, where Texas Tech starts good, they go up, and then they just get crushed the rest of the game. And I could be looking at this game late and saying, fuck, I knew Oklahoma wouldn't cover 2 touchdowns because they don't ever cover as big favorites. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like Oklahoma finds a way to get a cover here. I don't want to do it. None of the numbers back it up. I hate Oklahoma as a favorite. And I'm not going to bet it. I'm just going to stay off it. But I have a weird feeling this game's – or you know what this game will be like? I feel like this game will be like 38, 24 or something with 3 minutes left, and we need Oklahoma State to go down and score. And like other teams that have, they don't find the end zone or something. So I'm going to stay off it. I just have a bad feeling about it. It's interesting because when Oklahoma's played in other games against Texas or Baylor, it was right away. I was like, I'm in. I don't care what happens. I'm betting it. But this game, I've had a lot of question marks on. Like I've thought, you know what? I don't have that same feeling that I had with those games. So for me, I'm going to move on. I'm going to just pass on this game and look towards other options. UTSA La Tech. La Tech is eligible bowl game. They should roll in this game. UTSA doesn't do much for me. The only time they really do anything for me is when they're at home, and they're not at home here. Southern Miss, Florida Atlantic, another game. Not real. Yeah, there's a lot of games today that are just kind of playing out the string. A lot of these teams are looking forward to the bowl games, and I think you'll see just a lot of weird results today. I don't have much on this one. Tulane, Southern Methodist. Southern Methodist is, kind of reeling. They had a real good season up until 2 games ago. But hey, you've got to find a way to win last week's game. And SMU's problem all year has been defensively. Also, the fact that they're kind of one-dimensional on offense. Tulane's just a little bit more well-rounded. I think their defense is more likely to get a stop here. I have really no interest in laying points with SMU. I've got to feel like they're pretty deflated. Cal, UCLA. Cal, what a win for them last week. They're bowl eligible. You got to wonder if there's a little bit of a letdown effect, but Chase Garbers is back. UCLA can't stop anybody. I'll tell you right now, UCLA is going to struggle to move the ball in this game. Cal is a great defense, really good defense. Interesting line. I guess people are just thinking this is going to be a letdown game for Cal after it seemed like they won the title last year. Did anyone see that last week? Did anyone see that celebration? I mean, it's like they literally won the national title the way they were celebrating. But, hey, getting to a bowl game is big news for them. I'll tell you one thing about Cal. I don't necessarily love seeing them in bowl games. Remember that bowl game they were in last year against TCU? The Cheez-It Bowl? What was it, 9-6 or something? It was ugly. It was really, really ugly. What else do we have here? Notre Dame, Stanford. Notre Dame lane 17, total 45. I would lean towards taking the points here. Seems like a few too many. I actually like Stanford. They got to be a little deflated. They're not going to a bowl game, which that's been a long time. I feel like since David Shaw's team hasn't went to a bowl game. I like Davis Mills, though. I think for them, it's about playing for pride and playing at home here in front of their fans. 17 seems a bit high. I think Mills can keep them in this game. Arizona State. I feel like these games are never going to end. Rivalry game here. Arizona State's locked into a bowl after the win last week. Got to feel like this is a little bit of a letdown game with not much to play for. They should win, and they should win comfortably. Arizona University is a terrible Terrible defense. You have to wonder, can Khalil Tate keep them in this game? I think he can. I think there are some playmakers for Arizona. Over has some interest here. Seems like Arizona State seems okay with shootouts. They had one against Washington State this year. This one could be another. Arizona could give this up themselves. I mean, they're a terrible defense. And it's something that seems like that coaching staff never figures out there, regardless of the head coach. UAB, North Texas, disappointing season for Mason Fine in North Texas. I think a lot of people thought this team would be kind of a contender in the Conference USA. UAB, as usual, Bill Clark, one of the best coaches in the country, another good season. Don't have much in this game. Utah State, New Mexico. Utah State, they've found a way to compete after Matt Wells left for Texas Tech. They're bowl eligible. And they get a New Mexico team really just playing with some pride this week. No Bob Davie after this week. He will leave and move on. You have to wonder, I mean, do they play for Bob Davie today? You would think, but again, I don't really know what this locker room's capable of just because they're so inept. They find ways to lose games. They find ways not scoring games. I wouldn't really feel like – I think a lot of people, a lot of sharp guys think that New Mexico is going to wake up today for some reason, but you're not going to win a lot of money hoping that New Mexico wakes up. Miami and Duke, no opinion. I hate the ACC. Florida State, Florida. This seems like a beatdown game for Florida. Florida State is a pretty inept. Florida State's going to a bowl game, though, surprisingly. Brigham Young, San Diego State. I think this game could be first of 20 wins. Brigham Young, as usual, offense stinks, and I don't think it's going to get much better against a good San Diego State defense. Then I look, though, at San Diego State, and I say, well, I have no interest in that quarterback as well. And I think the big equalizer here for San Diego State is going to be your run game. You are at home. I guess I'm kind of trying to wonder why San Diego State's a 5-point underdog at home here. I don't really get that, but something smells here. San Diego State's always very good at home. They're always good under Rocky Long. They have a better defense. They have a better run game. I think they're more dependable. I don't really know why they're an underdog here, to be real honest with you. By the way, San Diego State basketball is really good. You better get on the fucking Brian Dutcher train. Oregon State, Oregon. Civil War. Oregon, the bubble is completely burst on their season. They're not winning anything except the bowl game. They're not going to a Final Four game. It's got to be pretty deflating. And now you get your team in state that is a lot better than people think. Oregon better man up and come to play in this game because Oregon State's a good football team. Jamar Jefferson, great running back. They're well coached. They're good offense. Probably take the points, but this one kind of lost some luster for me as well. And then the final game, a game that I'm on, Army against Hawaii. I took 3 here with Army. It's now down to 2.5. It just sets up pretty good situationally for Army. Hawaii has the Mountain West title game to kind of worry about, and the Army is bowl eligible with a win here, which is huge. I love this game plan because Army, we know what they want to do, and this is a Hawaii team that's been horrific against the run. Horrific. They're giving up like 5.5 yards a carry. They've been shockingly bad for the run defense. I think Hawaii will also have some concern with the weather tonight. The wind will be bad. I don't think it's going to be horrific. They should be able to have some success, but I think Army, this is just a real good spot for them. If anyone's not going to struggle with Hawaii, it's Army. They can obviously get in there early and be prepared. We know they're disciplined. We know that they can just jam it down your throat. I think Army's in a really good situational spot here. And I just think Hawaii is going to be kind of looking ahead to their title game. Seems like Hawaii plays every game at home, doesn't it? Seems like they're always at that stadium. Someone's going to look at their schedule. It seems like they played 7 or 8 home games this year. But either way, I've been disappointed with Army this year. I had a big future on their win total. It's obviously not going to get there. So I guess we'll look for some moral victories here. and we'll go Army +3. So there you have it. I have 3 plays today: Army +3, Minnesota +3, and I took Penn State. I laid the 39.5 with the Nittany Lions there, and what I think is going to be a total blowout. That's it for me, guys. You all have a great day. I hope you enjoy your Saturday wherever you are. I think a lot of people are starting to get kind of cabin fever, as they say. People kind of think sick of being inside. You've had Thanksgiving, you did yesterday, but go out and get some fresh air today. Nice day. I mean, it's cold, but it's a nice day. I'll definitely get some fresh air. So I might go wash my car, maybe. But then again, I know it's supposed to snow on Sunday or Monday, so it might be off for no reason. How did the NFL player get caught betting on sports? I don't know. Who cares? I mean, the thing is, like, how do you not know you can't bet on the NFL? Like, you're an NFL player. Didn't it probably cross your mind that, hey, maybe I can't do this? And then he tried to say that he didn't understand the Supreme Court ruling. Well, Supreme Court ruling has no bearing. Las Vegas has had sports betting for decades. I mean, I think this is just a case of stupidity. It's pretty simple. I don't really have any, look, it sucks. I mean, I've seen people do way worse and get way shorter suspensions, and obviously it's stupid, but I mean, I don't really feel sorry for the guy. I mean, it seems like you're just, Corrado Soprano said it best in season 3 finale. They talked about Jackie Jr. being stupid, and Tony basically said, well, stupidity is a fucking learning disorder, isn't it? So yeah, I mean, sucks to be that guy. Was he really going to play though? I mean, isn't he he's like a low level player. I don't think he'll play another down in the NFL, probably, sadly enough. All right. Let's get on out of here. I got to go do a phone call with a radio station. So you all have a great day. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you've enjoyed the show in general. I've been here every week, all 14 of them, doing this show. I get very little out of it, but I know you guys get a lot out of it, and I enjoy doing it. So thank you for watching. Keep a lookout on my channel for Right Side of Campus stuff. And, again, I don't like I wish I could do these videos for you guys and get something out of them. But for me, guys, I can't keep doing all these things for free. And I was spending a lot of time doing videos that I was really just doing for people, and I wasn't getting much out of it. I could put more time into my website and kind of focus more on that. So, I hope all of you understand that. I have to go where the money is. And there's a lot of people that will sit on these streams and not really get anything out of them and, build themselves up, which a lot of people have to do that. I've been doing this a pretty long time, and I can turn a lot of it into opportunities where I can make money. And I basically have told myself, going forward, it's going to be about me, looking out for myself, and I got to simplify my life a little bit. So I hope all of you understand that. And as I said, if you want to join me, you can find me on bmocwins.com. Having a very good week. I'm very happy with it. And I hope we can continue to just take it day by day and keep rolling out winners. You all have a great day. Thank you for watching. We'll see you later.